Hello, beautiful people. If you are new here, my name is Jo. If you are not new here, welcome back to my channel. It is so great to have you all here today with me. So today we have a tag video. I love doing tag videos. They're always so much fun. Today we're doing a video that I was actually tagged in, so yay! So today I'm going to be doing the Romance Journey book tag. I was tagged by Jackie from First Lady Reads. I will have her channel linked down below, as well as all of the other amazing creators who collaborated to make this tag. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. I got my kitty cat notebook. We're prepared. We are ready to go. Question number 1 is about how old were you when you started reading romance? And do you remember the first romance you read? I was right about 8 years old, and the first romance that I ever remember reading was Twilight by Stephenie Meyer. It was in 2008 when the first movie came out, and I watched the first movie. I became obsessed with it, and actually my mother would not let me read Twilight by myself. We sat on the living room floor and she read the first Twilight book to me out loud and edited out all the juicy bits, even though there weren't that many juicy bits in the first book, but you know what I mean? And yeah, Twilight. It was amazing. Never looked back. Question number 2. Did you deliberately seek out romance, or did you stumble upon it, and how? I would say that I stumbled upon it, and then I started seeking it out left and right. So the first kind of brush with romance where I was like, yes, this, I want more of this, was the movie Howl's Moving Castle by Studio Ghibli. It's a Miyazaki film. Howl from Howl's Moving Castle, I'm pretty sure just shaped the entirety of my taste in fictional men. I have a Studio Ghibli tattoo. I have my Howl's Moving Castle blanket. I have a depiction of Howl as the fallen angel that is framed on my wall. He is amazing, and I love him so much. Question number 3. Did you start with traditionally published or indie, and has it switched? I definitely started with traditionally published books. When I first came into the book community, a lot of the books that were being talked about by the bigger booktubers and bloggers and things like that were traditionally published books. And since then, within the past 2.5 years that I've been pretty much strictly reading romance, I would say that I'm more of an indie gal now, because I feel like indie books, you're able to push the envelope a little bit more, and traditionally published books tend to follow a certain pattern that is palatable for the average consumer. Question number 4. What was a romance trope you were afraid to try but ended up loving? That would have to be alien and monster. Obviously, for obvious reasons. Not humanoid even, and I absolutely love it. I'm in the middle of an alien romance series right now. I think it's The Fated Mates of the Sea Sands by Ursa Docks, something like that. I'm not gonna check. Duskwalker series by Opal Rain. I love those books, and those dudes in those books are not human in any way, shape, or form. Okay. Next. Question number 5. Is there a romance book you read early on in your journey that you would rate differently today? I'm probably gonna have to say I'm the Vampire That's Why by Michelle Bardsley. I talked about this book in my most recent video, I think, where I was going back and reacting to my February book haul of 2018. I hauled it back then. I remember liking it okay, not really loving it, but I read that book at a time where, number 1, I was not reading romance. I was reading predominantly adult high fantasy and sci-fi, which is crazy. And number 2, if I was reading romance, I wanted the series to follow the same couple throughout the series, and that series follows a different couple each book, which is pretty much what I read now. So I feel like I would really, really like it a lot more. Perhaps not love it still, but I'm not sure. Question number 6. How has your taste in romance evolved over the years? As I get older, I want more adult experiences in my books, whether that be sexual content or single parent, more mature characters rather than your average like 17, 18, 19-year-old, which was what I was reading before, which there's nothing wrong with YA romance or anything like that if that's what you enjoy. I'm also really enjoying contemporaries, which back in the day, I would not pick up a contemporary to save my life. Question number 7. What is the most powerful romance that you have read that left a lasting impact? And for this, I have to say Manacled by Sin Lin Yu. I know I talked talk about that book so much. Manacled is a Harry Potter fan fiction. It's a Hermione fan fiction. It's kind of like What If the Bad Guy Won meets The Handmaid's Tale. There's a lot of dark aspects. There's a lot of trigger warnings within it. It's a very, very long book. It's a very difficult read. I've only read it once. I tried to read it a second time and it was difficult on my mental health. It's just so beautiful and poignant, and it has changed everything that I ever believed about fan fiction. In my head, it's canon, and I don't give a crap what anybody says. Question number 8. What was the romance book that told you this is what I am looking for in my personal life and or partner? One is Wolf Gone Wild by Juliet Cross. This book has a lot of humor in it. It has a lot of kind of nerd culture that is mixed in. I love the dynamic between Mateo and Evie so much. I adore them. And also, I'm gonna say Lore Olympus by Rachel Smythe. I have no idea. I love Hades and Persephone. Hades and Persephone is my bread and butter. And in that webcomic series, Hades is just so delicious. He is patient. He is kind. Persephone is such a ray of sunshine, and I just eat them both up. So like the fun jokiness of Wolf Gone Wild meets the patience, kindness, and just overall smushiness of Hades from Lore Olympus. Thank you. Okay. Question number 9. Which romance book would you recommend to a romance newbie and a seasoned romance reader? I would say if you're a romance newbie and you really like fantasy, I would definitely check out The Black Dagger Brotherhood. It's spicy, but it also has a lot of the action adventure that fantasy novels tend to have. It also normally has some sort of mystery. They're easy to read, they're easily accessible, and they're super fun. For an experienced romance reader, I would definitely recommend A Soul to Keep. For a monster romance, which it's up there. It's by Opal Rain. It's fan-fucking-tastic. Like I said, it's a monster romance. There's tentacles. It's a little bit more advanced than I would give to like someone fresh off the street. I would also recommend Sea of Ruin by Pam Godwin. Most people on BookTube have already read this book, but it's amazing. It reminds me of like a mix between Outlander and Pirates of the Caribbean. It's got a badass pirate heroine. It's got a throuple, but it is very dark. Check your triggers if you want to get into that. Question number 10. In your eyes, what are 3 perfect romances? For this, I'm going to obviously have to say Manacled, so we're just gonna move right along. The second one that I'm going to say is Lover Awakened, which is book number 3 in the Black Dagger Brotherhood series. I love this book. It's Zadist's book. He is my sweet baby child. My favorite heroes are the ones who are tall, dark, and traumatized, so Zadist is all 3 of those things. He is fantastic, delicious. And the last one that I'm gonna have to say is Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. I'm really wanting to reread the books that I've read in that series this year and continue on with the series. I absolutely love Jamie and Claire. They are just delicious. They are scrumdiddlyumptious, and they are just perfect. Capital P perfect. Thank you very much. So that was the Romance Journey book tag. If you would like to do this tag, I will have all of the questions linked down below. I tag you all, but that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.